I'd like to call to order the Village of Gurnee Planning and Zoning Board for this Wednesday, October 18th, 2017. Could we have roll call, please?
Bow.
Here.
Garrity.
Here.
McFarland.
Here.
Nordentoff. Taff.
Here.
Pasak.
Here.
Sula.
Present. Thank you. We do have a quorum. If everyone would please stand and join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The chair would like to say it's nice that the chairs don't clunk anymore. All right. First item on the agenda this evening is an opportunity for public comment. Anyone from the public that would like to make a statement or ask a question about something that's not on the agenda? I'm going to close the floor to that item. Next item is the approval of the minutes from our meeting that was held on the 6th of September. Any questions or comments? If not, a motion to approve would be in order.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second. Moved by Mr. Paff, second by Mr. Pasak. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is a public hearing for a zoning map amendment requested by Abbott Land and Investment Corporation for property located at 4015 Grove Avenue. Clara, staff report?
Yep. Abbott Land and Investment Corporation is requesting a zoning map amendment to rezone 4015 Grove from I-2 PUD General Industrial District as a planned unit development to C2 PUD Community Commercial District as a planned unit development. The subject property consists of approximately 0.8 an acre and is located at 4015 Grove Avenue and is designated as Industrial Office Research in the Village of Gurnee's Comprehensive Land Use Plan. The subject property is surrounded by industrial zone property to the north and east, commercial zone property to the west, and multifamily residential zone property to the south. Uses in the adjacent industrial and commercially zoned properties are office and service in nature, such as Associated Bank, Lake County Chamber of Commerce, and Logo Choices. In addition, the property located to the southwest is zoned commercially and contains a McDonald's restaurant. The property to the northwest is zoned commercially and contains a commercial center with a mix of service, office, and retail uses, including Octagon Salon, Grand Animal Hospital, Select Remedy, and Subway Sandwich Shop. The Planning and Zoning Board's review in this matter is merely associated with the requested C2 zoning district and not with the specific use on the property. As with all zoning map amendment petitions, the Planning and Zoning Board will make a recommendation that will be forwarded to the Village Board for their determination. The applicant is in attendance to present his petition and answer any questions the board may have.
Okay, thank you. As this is a public hearing, I would request anyone wishing to make comment or give testimony to please stand and be sworn in by the village attorney.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Okay, I'll turn the floor over to you, sir. And the meetings are recorded, so you need to use the microphone. Thank you.
Is it working? Is that working? Okay. Thank you, Clara. I'm Dean Kelly. I'm president of Abbott Land and Investment. We're the proposed developer of this site for a daycare use. I'm currently working on two others for the same company. I realize we have to, the purpose tonight is to talk about the requested change in zoning and the map amendment. In looking at sites, we identified this is a good market for the tenant, which is Little Mines. And in looking at this site, it's zoned industrial, yet it's right at the edge of the industrial park. If this was in the middle of the industrial park, we wouldn't have considered it. And it's also very close, it's right next to the bank, it's like next to McDonald's, so we thought it made sense to seek a rezoning given its location and proximity to the commercial areas. And I believe there were 8 or 9 tests that we were required to respond to, which we did. I think those are in your packet. And at this point, I don't know if there are There's much more I can add with respect to the logic behind the rezoning, and I'd entertain any questions.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. I mean, from my perspective, one of the key and most important things is that there's property adjacent to this parcel that is already zoned at the level that is being requested. Does anybody else have any questions or comments?
No, my only comment is I agree. This really looks like an extension of the commercial district that is there. And as he said, if it was in the middle of the thing, I would not be comfortable with it. But with this, I think it makes sense.
Okay. All right. And just for formality, because it's a public hearing, I need to open the floor to the public. Is there anyone out there that would like to make any additional comment? Okay. I'll close the floor to the public. Any other questions or comments from members of the board? If not, a motion for a recommendation to the village board would be in order.
I move.
Oh, Mr.
Yeah,
Pasak?
I move that we make a favorable recommendation for the rezoning as stated for the Abbott Land and Investment Corporation at 4015 Grove Avenue to rezone from the I-2 PUD to the C2 PUD.
Okay.
I'll second.
Second. Who's that? Mr. Gurnee. Any discussion on the motion? Could we have roll call, please?
Bow,
Yes.
Garrity,
Aye.
McFarland,
Aye.
Paff,
Aye.
Pasak,
Aye.
and Sula.
Aye, motion carries. As staff has probably told you, and I think was stated today, the village board makes the ultimate decision, and Clara will let you know when that's scheduled to happen.
Very good.
Okay, thank you very much.
I got to do this more often.
After a tough fight,
Thanks.
you won.
Okay, have a great evening. All right, the next item on the agenda this evening is a minor PUD modification for the Auto Nation PUD.
Yep. Northside Owners Association, Inc. is requesting a minor modification to the Auto Nation PUD to allow the removal of an 8-foot-tall fence that runs along the northern property line. The PUD states that on the north property line, including the frontage of the retention basin, an opaque wood board-on-board fence having a minimum height of 8 feet shall be constructed on the highest part of the berm. In addition, the PUD requires a 14 to 16 foot tall berm landscaped with 15 trees and 5 shrubs per 100 linear feet. Our current code would require a minimum 4 foot tall solid fence or 4 foot tall continuous hedge, as well as the planting of 7 trees and 25 shrubs per 100 linear feet. Please note that the Planning and Zoning Board has the final decision-making authority in this matter.
Thanks, Clara. And you mentioned that there was a representative from the requester. Did you want to add anything to what Clara just said? It's totally up to you. It's not a public hearing. If you want to add something, that's fine. If you don't, but if you do, you have to use this guy. Thanks.
I'm Joe Pasolino, and
I think I turned it on. Is the light on?
it's on. It's
Yeah,
good.
okay.
And I 5 years ago fell into become the manager of the Northside Owners Association when Key Lime was in bankruptcy. So I've been kind of managing the homeowners association over there, property owners association. And the reason that Key Lime and I have Hawks and Hall Office Center next to Key Lime, wanted to take it down because over the years it's basically been a maintenance headache. And there are so many trees on that berm, what have you, it's not doing anything anymore. Every year the kids knock down sections of the fence, the gates to get through, so it's really kind of become a nuisance if anything else, plus it's kind of not in degraded shape. And I believe, I can't speak for these guys, but I believe nowadays if it came in front of the village, for example, the planning and zoning, they probably would not require a 8-foot high fence on top of a 16-foot high berm already. And on the other side of it is basically Edison easement. And then we have Hawks Hall and, of course, now Great Wolf. So we have a contractor ready to take it down. And as it says in the thing, you can't even see the fence anymore. There's so many trees and shrubs that have grown. It's really a good barrier as it is now. So that's why we would like to do it.
Okay,
Thank you.
Is there anything that anyone, Mr.
My
Paff?
only question is there something in place that requires them to maintain the vegetation there then? I take it if there is, it sounds like it's in the PUD.
It's in the PUD.
That's a question.
The planned
for staff.
unit development.
Huh?
The planned unit development has to be maintained, so if those
Yeah.
trees died, they'd have to replace them.
Okay.
All right.
And
They would?
Okay,
Yes,
well,
it's a-
hold on a second,
it's-
guys. All right,
Yes.
One person talks at a time, all right? Did you have
Yes.
anything else, Mr. Paff?
Sorry.
Okay. Mr. McFarland?
Thank you. I remember when this came before us the first time, and we actually, the homeowners association was here in numbers to request the fence and the material. So to me, the fact that I was out there, you're right, I couldn't find the fence, and the fact that the homeowners association, who are the people that we were trying to provide some privacy for, are here to request that this go down. I'm very comfortable that it is no longer necessary, and it sounds like it's just an added expense to the association.
Okay. Mr. Garrity, did you have a question?
No.
Okay. Mr. Pesach?
Yeah, has anybody said that they want to keep the fence, or does it even have a functional purpose? No, actually. Sure,
Oh,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah, please. Sorry, I didn't mean to make this a question and answer, I'm just,
That's
what you're
fine,
here for.
you're entitled to ask as many questions as you want, in
Well, you
order.
get the big bucks, Josh.
Actually, no one's affected by the fence really, because it's just the Hawkston Hall Office Center and then the back of formerly Key Lime, now Great Wolf. They don't want it. We don't want it. Nobody else there's only 3 other people in the property association, and they have no say because they don't care.
okay.
Key Lime has, or now Great Wolf has about 60% say in it anyway. The people on the other side, from time to time, the homeowners association guy would call compliance and say, oh, there's a couple of sections of fence down, and then he'd come and tell me about it. I said, well, actually, the kids in the development came and knocked it down so they go sledding down the thing.
Yep.
I should really be calling the police and have them talk to the homeowners association to see if we can stop this in the future. So it got to be back and forth, and compliance guy was like, it's kind of, the whole thing is silly. So we decided that, in conversation with the planning, with David, that probably the best thing is to take it down.
Okay, any other questions? And from my perspective I'm sorry, Tim?
My only question here is that I noticed that the signature came from someone at, is this from Key Lime Cove, or is this somebody that's no longer associated with the water park?
It was from Key Lime Cove last year before they closed the deal in April.
So do we know the feelings of the new water park owners as to the fence?
Well, as far as I know, their discussions, they're here as well.
I really don't think it's fair to ask.
I don't know exactly
Mr.
what, I know in general discussions.
Yeah, I really don't think it's fair to ask Mr. Castellano any questions about Great Wolf, because I don't think.
I will say this, they're doing a lot of construction there, fixing up the pond, et cetera, so it's a great time to do this.
Well, it's just my concern that you have a signature here from someone, and this is from several months ago, where the abutting area.
Okay, so then we'll direct the question to the legal.
Well, fair enough, but the question, so I think because we have the applicant signature from Northside Owners Association, and there's been a representation that Key Lime and Hawkston Hall are members of that association, we should be good. But, that's, that, I guess we're all aware that Key Lime has gone, there's now a successor owner to that property, but I think since the application is signed by the homeowners association, it's properly before the board.
Thank you, Brian. Any other questions? From my perspective, it's a reasonable request. Under current standards, we wouldn't require anything of this magnitude. So does anybody else have any other questions, comments? If not, a motion to either approve or deny would be in order, as the planning and zoning has authority for this one. Mr. Pat?
I'll make a motion to approve the removal of the 8-foot fence.
Okay, do we have a second? Second by Mr. Pasak. Can we have a roll call, please?
Bow.
Yes.
Garrity.
Aye.
McFarland.
Aye.
Paff.
Aye.
Paysack.
Aye.
And Studo.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Before we close,
Oh, we were all kidding about some of the devices up here about the pause button. Just as a point of order and procedure, because these meetings are recorded, it is important to avoid speakovers. And the only way you can do that is make sure that the presiding officer or the chairperson, whoever that person happens to be, make sure that they do recognize you. I know occasionally at the board level we have some issues with that, and I hate to say it, but it's just a matter of discipline.
I know.
And you just do have to apply yourself to think of that, but that's something that I would just pass on. I know we were joking about that particular issue earlier, but it is actually a serious one, particularly for any meetings that are being recorded. Sometimes the clerk or secretary does refer to the recording to complete her minutes.
And just as the most often presider of the meeting, I just ask you to please be patient. Do not take perceived eye contact as acknowledgement that I'm giving you the floor, because those that sit closer to me might not be able to see. Somebody may have raised their hand or got my attention before they did. So please wait until I acknowledge you by name before you proceed. And administratively, let me or Brian or staff be the one to judge whether the question is most appropriately answered by staff, legal, or we go out to the requester or petitioner. Because otherwise, sometimes we end up with some really goofy dynamics going on and dialogues going back and forth that I really wish we wouldn't allow to happen. But you guys are doing a great job, and I just want to reinforce the protocol. Okay. Does anybody else have any questions or comments? Yes, sir. Mr. McFarland?
We only have one problem person, and I'll fix that.
Oh, God.
There's always someone to take a person's place. The worst is if you're in front of a judge and the judge tells the person, step away from the bench, and because you keep speaking over either the judge or another litigant. And that does happen, but it doesn't happen for long.
And sometimes I can be the prime offender, too. So any other questions or comments? If not, a motion to adjourn the meeting. Mr. Pesai?
Motion to adjourn?
We have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Garrity. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Go Cubs, maybe.